There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people, he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better rev than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn they're spirits, not animals. He said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of men on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Logbook podcast. I'm Kim.
I'm Dakota.
And we have Kim number 2.
Hello, everyone.
Or am I Kim number 2, you Kim number 1?
Hold on. Let's figure this out. Who joined first?
She did.
She did? Okay. And which branch did you serve in, Kim?
Army.
Okay. You're Kim number 1. And you're Kim number 2. But my opinion might be biased. So
go Navy.
Thing 1 and thing 2.
Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, we kind of treat it like that where we go anyways. But we actually have a special presentation tonight. It's not even much of a presentation. Let's talk about veteran affairs. And let's talk about what every podcast just won't address. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a fun discussion. I think it's going to be a rough one, though. And Kim number 2, as you say. I know we're all very spirited and opinionated on veteran affairs and how it treats every one of us.
Yes.
Tell you what, you're the you seem to be the most high spirited of us all. So how about you kick us off, Kim number 2?
Oh, where do we start? I think the list of things that are right is shorter than the list of things that is wrong.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we have to fill an hour of show, so we don't. If we did all the things that are right, we'd be done at, I think, 7-minute mark. So yeah.
And it'd be even quicker than that if the VA did things right.
Yeah, there wouldn't even this whole podcast wouldn't even exist if the VA actually did this right. But
Well, we could start with the parking lot. How about when the employees overpark the vets, they can't make their appointments? So that's a direct impact of the VA to keep vets from making their appointments.
oh yeah, but then if you can't make it in time, you're a no-show.
Right.
But it
Oh.
starts with the parking lot.
Yeah, and that's something that I would say actually defies Mission Act is that I know when they ask me, well, it shows right here that, you're only 45 minutes away. You're not an hour away. I was like, the valet line alone is time in my car. Can you count that? Because you have to get there sometimes an hour to 2 hours early to actually make it in the parking lot.
How about travel pay says your travel pay is through brick walls and trees because it's drawn by a straight line, not by the way the road curves.
Oh, I know. That's how they're getting away with it. I think that's ridiculous.
Bringing out that old paper map and ruler, just drawn
They
straight.
claim that they use Bing, but they draw a straight line.
Well, I will say that as another thing, like in their community care program, when they look it up on the system, you're supposed to be able to click the location of the place and everything. And that location is so inaccurate that the community care providers actually have to use Google instead of using the Vision program to actually locate our doctors. And that causes a lot of confusion because sometimes when they use Google, the building's not there. It doesn't exist.
Uh-huh.
That's another big problem within Veterans Affairs.
Well, as long as we don't show up to an empty lot.
Oh, too late for us. I mean, we found several empty buildings that apparently are that the VA says that we can go to.
Yeah, we've only hit the urgent cares. Up here in the North Houston area, we found 10 urgent cares that have either been replaced with a brand new clinic, or the clinic doesn't exist and it's been replaced with like other shops, or just completely empty and for lease signs up. So I know in my area where I live in Houston, there really isn't an urgent care, but for one. And sometimes they're completely backed up. And then sometimes we've actually had it to where they've walked out and said, oh, we're full for the day, so we can't see you.
Yes.
And this is in the Cypress area, and we're in a very high suburban population, and there's no representation. So, and then we found, doctors that don't exist. We found
the doctors that are licensed to practice in all 50 states.
No, we found a clinic where it's in the Office of Internal Medicine where the doctors don't exist.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And can't find these doctors anywhere. And things when you go there, when you go to say, hey, the VA says I can come here to see Dr. So-and-so. Dr. So-and-so doesn't exist. Well, I guess you can't come here then. And they got to turn you around.
Right.
Or Dr. So-and-so no longer works for us.
Yeah. Well, what I noticed in one case is that they have a bunch of these doctors that are teachers, right? And because they're teachers, their little underlings can work their name for them, is what it looks like. But however, because the VA writes that instructor's name and they're not there and they are not the doctor, that's posing a huge problem. So again, veterans are being denied services. But we did have an article we wanted to talk about that we saw about why veterans aren't showing up. 50% of veterans. Do you have that article?
Not a moment. It's across the room.
He's gonna go get it.
Yeah, I gotta go get it.
So, but in this article, it's dumbfounding how these people People at the VA just don't understand why veterans don't use the VA. They can't be that dumb. They can't be that out of touch. I think they hide the reason. They just don't want any more veterans in the VA so they can play with their phones or talk to their girlfriends where they work, and they turn it into a social club.
Yes.
I wish the VA would. Oh, yeah. Can you go get that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been like on the phone with lots of veterans. It rings constantly. And here's one right now. Hey,
Here, I'll take it over. Come on. Kimberly Moyers will be joining you back momentarily. So yeah, but yeah, like I have seen some crazy stuff. I have seen one of the most disturbing things that I see is the overburdening care that, or well, quotations care there that the VA provides. Like they're forcing medications on you, or they're forcing forcing injections on you that you don't comply to, or anything like
How
that. Oh yeah, go ahead, Kim.
how about the fact that our appointments are only 20 minutes long? No matter what's going on, we're only scheduled for 20 minutes with our doctor.
Sorry about that. I had a small technical glitch right there.
We'll be back after these short technical difficulties.
Right. Right.
Please review these quotes from our sponsors. No.
Yeah. So like can you go into detail about anything that you've personally seen happen at the VA?
Well, we're scheduled for 20 minutes, but if you have a
Yeah.
problem, then you need more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes is not a sufficient treatment time.
No, it's not.
I understand that there's a lot of vets, please don't get me wrong, but 20 minutes is not enough to get things fixed,
Mm-mm.
especially when you actually need something. So then you get put out, you get delayed. Um, for sake of argument, you go to ER. When you go to ER, they kick you out because you have a primary care doctor. Then you can't get into your primary care doctor for months on end. Then when you do get into your primary care doctor, it's like it because it's a 20-minute appointment. It's a whole fiasco to get what you need, and 6 months later you haven't gotten it.
Yeah, you have this laundry list of things that's wrong with you.
My right foot got broke in December. I didn't get to see my doctor till February. Saw podiatry in March. Saw them in April. We'll see them again in June, and my foot's still broke. And all the podiatrist
Believe
can
so.
say is, why is it not healing? Well, I don't know. He's supposed to be the doctor.
What did they do for you? Did you have surgery on your foot, or did you
No, I
they
broke my
lace it
foot
up,
in
or
December. I broke my foot in December. The only thing I've been given is a cam boot, uh, Coban, and an injection in my ankle and some X-rays.
Wow.
But the bone won't fuse back together.
So when I actually got out of the military, I was actually stuck in the wait time scandal. Guys, give you an update on that wait time scandal that happened. I would say between 2013 and 2016, where they were investigating it. Killed 307,000 veterans, mishandled documents, hidden list. It involved the Phoenix VA. Lots of, I think we're close to having that happen again.
RVA.
But I know for my VA, I had to wait 1 year after I got out to get an appointment. They were scheduling them. And then when you had to make your your follow-up appointments for your physical therapy, it was first call, first serve after 6 months. And that's
Yes.
the word that they did. And that I was like, that's post-op physical therapy. Are you nuts?
Mhm.
And
Well, in our VA clinics, priority 1 is given to critical patients, Purple Hearts, prisoners of war, and prisoners of war, and 100% veterans.
wow.
And those are the people that are not getting priority treatment.
But you know what? Today, hey, I actually shared a photo. Do you have that photo on what's going on with the VA mobile unit today?
It'll be a minute before I get that brought up.
Oh, okay. Well, Dakota's pulling up another article that we are talking about here in a second. But I know that, I don't want to sit here and say doom and gloom outside of veteran affairs entirely. When I got out, other than the wait times, I had good doctors. But now it's few and far between because of the culture that has grown inside veteran affairs. And I believe it has a lot to do with the Second Chance Act with Obama. And that allowed felons inside Veteran Affairs Administration. But, they're supposed to provide the highest in quality care for us veterans, the highest standards of care. But they're felons. They've even found them recently in the pharmaceutical department, those with drug-related convictions that are ongoing right now. That came out recently too, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Sorry, I'm in the process of getting this brought up here. It should be any second now.
Yeah. So, did you ever read about that?
I've read about that. And then I sent y'all the link to the misdiagnosis that just occurred at our VA.
Yeah.
That the patient's still sitting there
for 60 days.
And he's still sitting there today.
Yep.
And everybody else that got treated with him was in and out in 7 days.
Oh, wow. So, anyway, I'm trying to help him find this article. You found it?
Yeah.
Okay, he's about to put it up. I don't know if you've read this. And here we go.
Yeah. All right. This is insane. The interagency effort targets half of veterans who never engage. But yeah, this is very telling. So right here was saying is that half the service members who join the veteran community, never even engage with Veterans Affairs. They don't get any kind of comp and pen, no evaluations, no nothing. They just leave and they go about their lives, right? So the Biden administration has this new joint project, and what they're doing is they're combining efforts to focus on the life experience of Americans going through a difficult time and in need of support from their government. So they're sitting here trying to find where the government can invade people's lives even more.
Well, no, if you go further on this article, hold on. So, hold on. Let's switch places. Hold on. Sorry, dog. So, okay, it comes up here. So what they're actually blaming this on is the transition of veterans to the civilian sector, on why the veterans are not using Veterans Affairs. So they come on further on here. There's interesting from life experience seeks to break barriers and focus how different parts of the government come together to help people in crisis, or in cases prevent a future crisis from emerging. Here's the thing: prevent a future crisis from emerging. Doesn't that sound like James Comey?
does sound like it. But yeah, and then there's the it's very scary when you think about the 2009 DHS report, and the FBI is making prevention a reality. Again, James Comey. The thing is, it all turns back to they're labeling us domestic terrorists again. And they keep finding nicer and nicer ways to do it, to label us terrorists.
I think that's what it is. It's more of a push to put us inside, to push more veterans inside the veteran affairs community so they can target them and keep an eye on them, because that's all like the patient record flag manual was. They actually, the FBI actually did find out that they are, or I would say certain people found out that the FBI are actually watching our medical records. There was actually a court case on that. But I'm going to focus on that. I'm going off of things here because I got to find this one hilarious part within this article. Like, I love it here. It says tap dancing around the issue, having one step respiratory or of helpful information will indeed be helpful if we won't get to the heart of the issue, according to Stephen Wolf, Assistant National Service Director for Disabled Veteran for America, a veteran advocacy group. We all know who they are. I think we already have that. We all have the internet, he said. Having a tool, yeah, that's great. But VA already has that. They have tools that are necessary to obtain information. Oh, gosh.
Well, see, every time we log on to My Healthy Vet, they know when we logged on. They know where we went. They know what we did. They know what we looked at. They know what we said. They know who we said it to. It's all logged. When you have that telehealth equipment in your home or the iPad that they offer, if you don't have one, then it's all got channels in it that they can see, watch, and look at everything you do.
See, here's another thing is that I found hilarious is that TAP class is mentioned, that we need to force our sailors upon discharge to use TAP class.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's already mandated upon your checkout. I mean, isn't it? Or was it enforced for you?
It wasn't enforced for you, Kim, because it was for us. We had to know.
I had disability TAP, so it's called DTAP. So you have to go in order to sign out. It's part of your checkout for when you're in the military.
No, I went straight into transition and out.
Yeah, it's nowadays TAP is mandatory for everybody exiting. Doesn't matter how long you've been in, it's mandatory. But yeah, I think it's crazy. I had no idea that the VA was, just dishing out tablets like that, just to have an extra set of eyes on you. That's ridiculous. Some real Orwellian stuff happening.
Well, you got to remember, if the VA issues you a tablet, it's got the camera technology.
Yeah.
What you can turn on to see someone else can see you, even when you don't want them to.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of like your 65-inch TV. If it has the picture-in-picture camera capability, then somebody can always, at any point in time, tap into the back of your TV and see you doing anything you're doing, even streaking across the room.
So here's what it is. This is the problem. He said, Morton noted the multitude of VA resources and programs available to veterans, from job and home buying assistance to physical mental health programs, but internal data shows roughly half of transitioning servicemen never engage with the VA. Morton said, we're curious of why that might be.
I'd like to put Paul Gunnarson's quote. He wants to get one of those here. Let's put that up there.
Because the only people that will engage with the VA are the absolutely desperate that don't have any form of health insurance outside of the VA.
That's it.
They know they've got a job or health insurance. They don't want to engage the VA at all. They want to go on about their merry way.
Right. They don't. That's exactly what it is. They do not want to engage the VA. They want it completely out of their lives. I honestly, I have TRICARE now. There is no way that I will ever use my VA ever again
No,
for things.
no. If there's an option outside of it, yes, everyone is going to take that.
Right. I'm completely done with it.
This is one of the reasons that brings me to question, why isn't the VA simply privatized?
Right. But
Simply
that's
put.
what I'm saying. The total arrogance, though, that the VA has. Well, I don't know why veterans don't want to use us. Are you freaking kidding me? 10 years ago, you killed 307,000 veterans, you think?
Why would veterans truly, who can afford to go outside of the system, truly want to use the VA system when the VA acts as a, well, there's no other word for it, terroristic entity throwing force at the veterans that are in it? Like,
Yeah.
you'll do it our way, when we want, the way we want. This is for us and not for you.
Yeah.
The thing is, what you see a lot of these people that are getting out. They have friends and family members that are veterans before they get out, and they're telling them, "Don't you dare come to this Veterans Affairs hospital." They're being warned beforehand, and they don't go because one, word of mouth is very strong in the veteran community, and two, you can just see the results of what's being wheeled out of the VA every day. I mean, you still have Vietnam veterans in there getting treated for injuries they got in Vietnam. There's there's no good prognosis in the Veterans Affairs, no
Well,
matter what.
for the Vietnam vets, the VA refused to acknowledge agent, as they call it, Agent Orange,
Mm-hmm.
when in fact it's Agent Rainbow. There was orange, blue, green, red, and yellow. It is actually Agent Rainbow. The orange was the one that stuck around that everyone could see. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
called it Agent Orange. The other colors tended to dissipate quickly. This was created by Manitoba, who also created
Roundup.
Roundup.
Yeah.
Roundup, the base chemical of Roundup is the same base chemical that was left over from Agent Rainbow. And
Yeah.
they want to say that, oh, it doesn't cause cancer. Oh, it doesn't do this. Oh, it doesn't do that. And you notice that came back to kick them in the butt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then there's the there's
Then,
the after effects, not just the effects on yourself, but the men who are exposed to it, or their children are having birth defects.
and
Yeah.
you
And some
see
of
it in
those,
the farmers too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And some of those, it's like it's passed down to your children, maybe up to the third generation. So
And,
it's lethal. And that's the whole thing with the, I get it. We can, people can sue, but the children of Camp Lejeune, who are affected, who her parents weren't there at that time, and they have birth defects, they're not going to get anything from the Camp Lejeune stuff. And yet
and
those
then
chemicals show birth defects.
and then I didn't like going into the VA system knowing that I didn't have any other out. Going into the VA system to be told that the Army didn't know what they were talking about. I needed to reprove everything that was wrong with me. I needed to completely go off my meds. And I had to start over from square one till I kept winding up getting sick, and they couldn't figure it out. And it's like, dude, give me back my meds.
Right. That's it. But the thing is on the other hand, too, it's that they use medicine as a crutch because they don't want to fix the problem either. So they kind of treat meds like a band-aid. It's like, okay, give you these meds and boom, we'll stick a band-aid on it. And they did the same thing during the opioid pandemic, which there is a report out there. It's further down our page. it said in 2017 that the VA actually fueled the opioid crisis. So, what is it?
So this is Mike Picotto. PFAS contamination at U.S. bases will be the post 9/11 equivalent to Agent Orange in 30 years from now.
Oh yeah, and exactly. But the thing is that they won't do anything about it. And so majority of people have already suffered or passed away because still to this day, there is not one payout from the Camp Lejeune water poisoning, from the burn pits, all of it. And what actually bothers me is Operation Tomodachi. What about that radiated ship? What about those radiated equipment? There was a lawsuit that was happening. I've been digging into it. Don't know what happened to it, but apparently 4 sailors put in for that lawsuit because of the beta radiation, because Japan downright lied on the radiation levels.
What ship was that? Do you remember?
Reagan.
It was the Reagan. So
Yep.
the Reagan is still radiated.
Reagan is still radiated right out to sea.
So a crew of 5,000 constantly rotating. How many people are going to get radiation contamination from an aircraft carrier?
And the thing is, they know it. They know that it's there. I was there at Operation Radcon. It was there. I know our freaking alarms and shit went off. We got it. I remember the suits and everything that really never fit anyways.
Well, I mean, it couldn't be any worse than 100 and what is it? I think it's 147 of our military posts are Superfund sites.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure her VAs are like that too.
They're legitimately Superfund sites. The water is contaminated. The fish are contaminated. It doesn't matter, and they tell you to come to when you come to the post that you can go hunting, you can go fishing, you can go do whatever. But who wants to drink radiated water and eat radiated meat?
I thought a smart person, and the government's dumb, okay? I mean, they're like little children. You got to corral them in, some of these guys. But if a smart person would sit there and look at what happened with the stuff from 9/11, all those firefighters, the people there affected, the cancers and things like that, and actually could take that program and say, okay, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. And you could actually, hone in a little bit better on how to handle that. But no, they won't do that to make things better. I do believe this too, is that, accidents do happen. We're all there are humans. But the thing is, at least be responsible for it and take care of the people that you've hurt.
Well, the VA doesn't want to give medical marijuana to assist in certain trauma cases. I'm not saying feed it to everybody, but to assist in certain trauma cases. But they have no problem having cocaine on our medical pharmaceutical list.
Do they have that?
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Cocaine is on our pharmaceutical list of applicable meds.
That explains why Veterans Affairs is at the border right now. I mean.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Switch.
Going around.
Another thing in breaking news and VA news today. Dakota's going to bring this picture up on what's going on. But, I want to say that is so interesting with the scandal that's come out about the pharmaceuticals. No wonder they have cocaine in there, because they have so many drunk offenders in there. Taking a bump mid-ship, that's how you get through it. And at that point, I kind of sympathize.
Well, I have a copy of the VA formulary list of every medication from A to Z that is on the dispensable list from the VA.
Oh, wow.
And it literally has cocaine in the C's under the list, but yet they don't want to let people with PTSD and certain eye conditions and certain pain conditions have medical marijuana.
Yeah, and so about 2 weeks ago, there was a bill in was it a Senate bill or was it a House bill?
I believe it was
It was a Senate
it
bill.
was Senate, yes.
So what it was is a bill to set up I would guess a facility to test marijuana, to test holistic medicine, to test CBD, and it was shot down.
Yes, and shot down by who in the Senate now?
I know Ted Cruz was one of them.
Ted Cruz was, and John Hawley, Senator John Hawley of Missouri.
Did Chip Roy shoot it down too? I thought.
No.
No, that's House.
That was House. Yeah.
Yeah. Hollis or Hawley.
Hawley,
Right,
yeah.
Hawley. What I don't understand is that it's not giving permission to take marijuana to veterans. It was a research bill to research it for PTSD. PTSD and TBI is something that is, let's see, Morgan Luttrell said it best because that's actually his specialty of research. And that's why I love our Congressman Morgan Luttrell being in there, being actively, I guess, in the realm of the PTSD TBI sphere and studying that. And that's what
an advocate for alternative treatments.
Yeah. And that would have been one more holistic, more natural, more safe than a lot of these SSRIs, because SSRIs in a report from the House Committee of Veteran Affairs show that SSRIs given between to the ages of 17 and the age of 24 in men causes aggression. So my thing is that you have these veterans that are out there getting in trouble, possibly beating their wives, their families during these episodes of PTSD and TBI. So we're going to give them medication that increases that anyway. It's completely backwards.
Yeah, and the thing is, the marijuana is just an all natural remedy of lots of ailments, and one, it grows naturally out of the ground. Big reason why we can't. A big person who's pushing the criminalization of it. One is pharmaceutical companies, is they lobby to have it shot down, to have the legalization of it turned down in a majority of the country, because the last thing pharmaceutical companies want is people growing their medicine in their own backyards.
Right.
Or to find an all natural, holistic way of taking care of it that doesn't let big pharma in.
Right. Anyway, here's this. Speaking of Veterans Affairs and cocaine, so what we have here. Sorry, blow this up a bit bigger.
Yeah.
There's no way I can. Sorry.
So that is a picture of.
Here we go. So this is a picture of the border. What's going on at the border right now?
So y'all remember how the VA wasn't going to the border? Because what's at the border?
Yeah. So this is the VA deployed a mobile vet center, for veterans at the border.
To the border for illegal immigrants.
Right. And we all remember Senator Ted Cruz said, no, don't send the VA to the border.
Mm-hmm.
So
why would the VA need to be at the border?
Here's the thing is that it's to offer mental health and support to services to non-veteran agents. I'm so sorry, but if you need mental health and you carry a gun.
If you need mental health and you're carrying a gun, you shouldn't be at our border anyway.
Right. Pull these guys out or give them the support they fully need if they are having mental breakdowns. Or how about this? Secure the fucking border. And then you won't have this problem. It just makes sense to me.
Well, the buses showed up this morning from the border to Houston full of passengers from the border to be sent to Houston, because once they hit 125% capacity, they're being sent to local cities.
Yep, and they're already past capacity at most of the centers.
And
We got one from Eagle Pass
Abbott
already.
just sent another bus to Kamala Harris's house. Parked it right on her front lawn.
He did.
Yes, he did.
So this was put out by Mike Boast.
So
of all
yeah.
people. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to tell you that. Shame on you, Mike Bost. And I just spoke to his office today.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I have never. I'm not gonna say that he's not a decent person, but I have never, ever, ever had faith in Mike Boast having our back as veterans in the position and the capacity that he is. Because whether it was a medical reason or otherwise, he never completed his full first tour.
Wow. I didn't complete my first one either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but I understand for medical reasons and like that. But it doesn't say why. But yet at the same time, the things that I see that are coming out of him are more name changes than they are assistance for us.
I will say this. I did like his where he defended taking away our benefits.
Yeah, I mean he.
So this is where I'm at with Mike Bost. I support the legislation for veterans that I would like to see passed, like the True Choice Act, the Demand Veteran Healthcare Freedom Act, the Veterans Second Amendment Protection Act. Those are all great bills. So I'm not going to be loyal to a person. I'm going to be loyal to the bill
Yes.
on a lot of this. So guys, I do have a lot of good legislation that we are looking at. We got the VA Police Reformation Act. Now that one in last session actually passed the House. We're waiting on the Senate to push that bill up further. Then we have the True Choice Act. And that one is actually True Choice, where we get to go see the people that we need. If you would like to sign the petition through that, send us a message. I will send you the online link so you can sign those petitions, Demand Veteran Healthcare Freedom and the True Choice Act. Veteran Affairs Second Amendment Protection Act. Yes, that is exactly what it is. Every single veteran who uses Veteran Affairs is under red flag policy. It's called a patient record flag. So it's attached to your medical record. That's where it's at. So they take your medical record and they do a threat assessment. And if they feel that you are a threat, they send that up to the FBI. And if you look at it, you can call Gun Owners of America. They have a list of over 250,000 veterans on a terrorist watch list. You can lose your guns, and you can actually be ruled a mental defect through the IRAC Committee Board or the Disruptive Behavior Committee Board, and you can lose your pay because you'll have to get a CPA to come in to do your finances. It's a very real thing that is going on within Veteran Affairs. So that's why we have the Veteran Affairs Second Amendment Protection Act. And so far we have 60 co-sponsors for that bill. So hopefully we'll have a hearing on it in the committee very soon and get a vote.
And with that, there's no due process on when they put these flags on you or when they start this initial process. You don't even know until it's too late.
Yeah,
In
you don't
most
get to go to board.
cases.
You don't get to go to your board. It has to stay on your profile for 2 years. So if they accidentally put it on your profile, guess what? You're stuck with it. So that's where you go and you wear your little Jewish star.
Yep.
You know, your restriction name tag. And you have to be escorted by police like a child.
That's just crazy because our particular
and what it is do.
Our particular director has a habit at our VA of putting those on people without a committee.
Yeah, they don't have a committee. We have the IRAC committee.
No, the VA is supposed to have a committee before they flag any veteran.
But they don't, not at Mike Lee DeBakey.
I know, but our director has a habit of putting those on people without a committee or proper documentation or proper write-ups, because there has to be a certain number of write-ups done before it happens as well.
Well, you're supposed to have a history of violence. You have to have a history of disruptive behavior. You have to be violent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people aren't violent. It's just I disagree with you, and they feel like, oh, that's hateful language. And the funniest thing is what they consider aggressive language within Veteran Affairs is that when you ask them for your name, can I have your full name? Why do you need it?
That's offensive.
Yeah, it is. Because you're a public employee and I can FOIA for it if I want to. I've actually said that. And they're like, FOIA, what's that? It's a Freedom of Information Act request. And under the government, I could actually get your name and your salary if I wanted to, because that should be public record. And it is public record.
It is.
So
Very much so.
we actually have the public pay of our director, which is Vasquez. Do you have that, Dakota?
Yeah, I can bring it up.
He's going to bring that up, and then we're going to bring up some articles, what we were talking about earlier, of what Vasquez did at his previous VA.
Mm-hmm.
And are you getting it up?
Yeah, I have to.
Sorry.
I'll get it there.
Technical errors, guys. We have a different computer today.
Yeah.
So we actually have a brand new computer, and we're still trying to figure that out too and get that updated. It was a last minute switch on that. But if y'all want to check out all the documents that we have, we've actually found 19.7 million appointments were canceled at Veteran Affairs during the pandemic, which was a catalyst, and even more so catalyst, I would say, to the wait times, because the wait times, in my opinion, were actually starting before the pandemic. What about you, Kim? Did you see that?
Yes.
It's kind of like blame everything on COVID.
Oh, well, that's like blind schedule. The clinic didn't blind schedule. Yes, they did. No, this was done by something else. Next thing you know, the patient's getting written up for patient canceled an appointment. And instead of blaming themselves, they want to blame COVID.
Yeah, or it's a no call, no show. Or like, here's oh God, this was my hilarious one. So they scheduled me for an OBGYN, and it was an infertility specialist. I was like, I don't need an infertility specialist. Well, I'll just say that you don't want the appointment then. I was like, no, you got the wrong doctor. I don't need that doctor. I need a regular OBGYN. Okay.
If I send y'all something on text, can you put it up like this, or do I have to send it to y'all across an email?
Probably off an email.
Yeah, email would be best. There. So we're ready to
go ahead and show up this page.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are gonna believe this.
Check this.
I don't know if you've seen this, Kim.
So this is the pay schedule, or this is his career, most of it anyway.
Scroll
down.
Yeah, scroll.
This is scroll.
I've had that for a long time.
Scroll up.
I also have Brent Crack Keys.
Scroll up.
That's everything.
Hold on. We're having some communication issues like my husbands and wives do. So this is Francisco Vasquez. He is the head of Michael E. DeBakey VA, right? And this is what I'm saying. It's all public record. So when an employee sits there and says, oh, well, why do you need my name for it? Because it's public record. I can FOIA for this anytime I want to see this. So if it's posted here on the federal employee profile right here, this is Francisco Vasquez, the Director of Veteran Affairs. So check this, guys. Go ahead and scroll down.
All right.
So in this administration here, it says that he was the healthcare administration. He was the head of Michael E. DeBakey from 2016 to 2021. Look at those pay raises, okay? just insane. 183, 183.50.
First year, nothing. His next year, he goes just over $3,000, right? Then
That's 89.
yeah, or $6,000. Sorry, $6,000 in a year.
But look at this big next jump.
So from 89 to 97, which is, if I'm wrong, about another $8,000, $7,500.
Right.
Right.
But here's the thing, and then go up to 2,000.
So from there, he goes up to $202,000 and $202,067 after that 197. So that's an additional $5,000, close to $5,000 raise that he got in just a year. And then after that, he goes up an additional $4,000 to $206,108. So adding it up over the past from 2016 till 2021, a span of 5 years, he has gotten $23,000 in pay raises.
Right. So tell me how his pay raises. Okay. And in the middle of this, too, you know, they were getting hit with OIG reports and failing things because I believe Michael E. DeBakey was investigated in 2017. Okay. When he was here for failure of setting up the disruptive behavioral committee, and he's failed to set it up. But my point is this: you see this $23,000 raise in what we even moved here in 2016.
2016,
you
yes.
got discharged in 2016.
Yeah, discharged in 2016. That's why we were here.
So in this time span and everything, we've barely had pittance of raises in our pay as veterans. Why does this director's pay not reflect our pay as veterans?
Because he takes his pay out of our budget. He takes his pay and his raises out of our budget. So you're looking at his pay, but you're not looking at his bonuses.
Yeah, the bonuses are zero, though.
Yeah, bonuses are zero. But the thing is, his base salary is going up. These zeros next to the base salary, those are his bonuses.
Right? Oh, I know.
So he's getting this $206,000 every year.
So when he was the director of Wichita,
Robert J. Dole,
right,
where I thought I left him,
he was making $165,135, right?
Right.
Zero bonuses. Scroll down. I want to see all his bonuses.
So he has zero bonuses on everything. So
he's obviously not a good employee.
No, he's not. So the thing is, from leaving from Wichita to going to Houston is about close to a $20,000 bump, which is, I would say, is understandable since he is taking on the role of director of the second largest VA in the country.
But the thing is, it's how he left Wichita.
Yeah, it's how he left Wichita.
He left Wichita for the same things that he should leave Houston for.
Right. So keep going. I'm going to go find that article on
flagging people without a committee, not having people wrote up, hidden lists, hidden wait times, patients that had medical treatment in over 10 years, never even been sent a hi, how you doing letter, never been seen by a doctor.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting. But not only that, is that when he left Wichita, which was under scandal, he got promoted to a bigger hospital, a bigger network, almost $20,000 in raises. Here's the thing. He's never faced the music for the things that he's done at all. But yet there's a news media reports, and what we're about to bring up is that news media report here in a moment. And sorry, still technical issues on this, guys. Please be patient with us. There it is, right there.
No, that's fucking basic.
So it's and then so basically since this he's made $40,000 more since 2015. $40,000 more a year.
And he was
And
about to be called out by the Kansas senators and congressmen. And right before he got called out, he left and came down here. And I thought I left him up there.
Yeah.
I am appalled that I feel like he's stalking me because I left to get away from it. And here he comes.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yep. Sorry. Darn ads. Here we go. Yeah, the Kansas VA fires Smear's war veteran, and Smear's veteran whistleblower. Sorry, it is still currently loaded.
No,
There we go. Right there. All right. Army veteran Nathan McClure, who worked at Robert J. Dole VA Hospital, and was fired 8 months after being hired by them before being the VA whistleblower, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because he was a whistleblower, it was Frank Vasquez who completely smeared his name and fired him for telling the VA in Wichita, Kansas's dirty little secrets.
Right. He was caught. He was caught with the secret list, like the Phoenix VA was doing.
He turned over the secret wait list. When he turned over the secret wait list and they found out, they turned around, they smeared him. They said that he was making terroristic threats. They said that he threatened to blow up a fellow employee's car. They fired him at 7:20 in the morning, and like 12:30 in the afternoon is when they made the very first write-up on him ever. Never had a committee, never had nothing, flagged him and fired him, and never had anything in writing. And they made the paper trail afterwards to try to cover their tracks.
Yeah, so see, it says here, April 16, 2015, the director, Frank Vasquez, called McClure's boss, Sandra Pope. He told her he disrupted meetings by throwing pens and refusing to sit down. Worse, he told her that McClure had threatened to blow up a fellow employee's car.
But the employee that wrote him up 4 hours after he was fired was the same employee who Mr. Vasquez said that he threatened to blow up her car. And in that write-up that she made, she said the only thing she said was that he made her uncomfortable. Never once did she make a comment to the fact that he said that he was going to blow up her car.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they do. Is they exaggerate everything.
Yeah.
You mentioned that they're an attorney. Oh my gosh, you're threatening the VA.
Oh,
red flag.
And here's the thing: this woman named Pope, who was McClure's boss, requested written documentation to support what Mr. Vasquez had told her.
Yep.
But he couldn't provide the documentation because it didn't exist.
That's the problem. We've dealt with the VA. We've FOIA'd the VA. I know I have a few times, and what they've accused me of and several others, and they can't find the documentation. I've even had my senator sit there and request the documentation. They can't find it, and so they aren't sending it. And it's been almost a year. But it gets worse. Tell them what happened to this veteran in retaliation, what Vasquez did to him.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
He wrote him up, he fired him, he flagged him, and he had no committee and no nothing.
Right. Per Disruptive Behavior Committee, the file reads, veteran is to check in with VA police and have VA police escort whenever on station.
See, what people don't understand, or I will tell you this, my biggest problem with congressmen don't understand this. Whenever we call them, hey, they're saying we have to check in with police. Why don't you just do it? And then I sit there, I was like, okay, I will wear my little Jewish yellow star and I will report to the Warsaw Ghetto. That's exactly what this is, guys. They don't realize you are being escorted by armed officers. Not that you request them, because someone else's feelings are hurt. You are sitting there being escorted to an appointment, armed individual, to make sure that you don't hurt anyone else's feelings. But this, get this, if the VA police assaults you or
It's okay.
get in a
According
tough
to them, it's okay.
yeah, that's completely fine. And here's the thing, what they did with Mr. Oliva in the case versus Oliva versus, you cannot sue VA police.
Nope.
They lost that case. And Mr. Oliva's dead. I think they picked him off, to be honest.
Yeah.
He died in a car accident, and they described the car accident, and the car accident picture looked nothing like what they described. Like,
Yep.
I'm not stupid. Are you serious? And that was here in El Paso. It's disgusting.
And the individual that was flagged like that by Mr. Vasquez was also a Marine veteran who suffered from medical conditions that did not allow him to sit for extended periods of time.
Right? Tell them about did you go according to the Russian record flag?
Oh,
Keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah. I mean, according to the VA's own policy, placing a flag of this nature on an account requires a special meeting of a disruptive behavior committee. According to the VA's own paperwork, the committee can place such a serious flag on a patient's record only after completion of an evidence-based, multidisciplinary, and multidimensional threat assessment, which considers static and dynamic violence risk factors present in the patient, violent risk mitigators, and violence risk factors associated with the setting where the incident occurred.
So my problem is this. I got my red flag. Do you know where I was when I got my red flag? And this is the scary part about it. I was in my house. So according to the VA Behavioral Committee guidebooks, which is the patient record flag manual, if you need that manual, I've got it, guys. Just send me a message. I will send you that manual. If you need the Disruptive Behavioral Committee guidebooks, send us a message. I'll send it to you. But even in those manuals, to be red flagged, you have to be on station to get red flags.
You have to be on VA property at the time that the incident occurred. You
Exactly.
you have to be someone with violent tendencies that will tear down the walls, that will climb across the counter, rip their boots off, and throw them back on the other side of the counter just for spite. Those are the kind of people that are supposed to be flagged. Not people sitting in their homes, not people turning over a list to Congress because they know that it's wrong.
And not someone catching them for not providing labor delivery maternal fetal medicine in Houston. Just saying. That's what it is everything's written. If you read these manuals, guys, let us know if you really want these manuals. I will say, if you read the manuals, the VA is never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be. I mean, I'm telling you what, Mr. Vasquez, his first name must be Jesus. Sorry. Just, jeez.
Well, here's the thing. They're supposed to write you up. Then they're supposed to evaluate you. But they're supposed to write you up several times. Then
Right.
they're supposed to evaluate you with a multitude questionnaire that would normally come out of psych. Then when you've done it and done it and done it and done it and done it again, then they're supposed to send it to a review committee. The review committee is supposed to do the same thing as when a court indicts you and they put it before a grand jury. They're
Right.
supposed to go round table and say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. And this committee is supposed to be there to make sure that all of the write-ups, documentations, scheduled assessments, and everything are in the file.
Well, according to the PRF manual, they're actually supposed to get records, police records as well. And if
Yes.
you don't have all that criteria met, that's how you get the red flag.
But no, we got people getting red flag because they asked for the clerk's name so they can make a complaint about them.
We have people that go to town halls
And
and
get
ask
red flag
questions.
for going.
Yeah. And I guarantee you they love the COVID days. Totally love. Oh, there are people probably being red flagged right now. Well, actually, I know this. In Miami-Dade, a veteran called me today and everything. They are still requiring masks there. It's low. Those mask mandates are lifted. It clearly says that if you are in moderate to low conditions, no masks are required. Miami-Dade CDC you follow CDC guidelines, which CDC guidelines means no masks anyways. Right. They don't work. And in Miami-Dade, they have armed police sitting there forcing veterans. Okay, it's different when you have a gun. Okay, and people don't understand that. They're like, well, we're police officers. I don't give a crap. A person with a gun is forcing me, who is not a medical professional, is forcing me to wear a mask. Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay. I don't know where the government gets off and what message they're sending with that. And I know what message they're sending. It is downright intimidation. And at that point, I think we should have guns in the VA.
Yeah.
Well, you know that our VA system right now, if you go and check it for the COVID, all of our facilities are at medium. None of our facilities are listed as low, but the CDC rating in our entire area for our entire VA system is rated as low. But all of our VAs are set at medium so that they can jump the gun whenever they want. I feel that it's fixing to be a round our area, let alone round the country game of whack-a-mole. Which VA is going to go high risk mask up next?
Yeah, but they're already playing whack-a-mole around the country. And you can't tell me that veterans, that these directors aren't getting it. Because if you also call the hospitals, and I've cold called several VA clinics around the nation, and when you speak to their patient advocates, they have the memorandums. They know that the mask mandates are lifted. And they just say, well, don't wear a mask then.
Well,
that's what their patient advocates are saying.
I'm not going to say that I hold it to be the absolute truth. But I was told by one of our CBOC facilities that a D. Moreno was writing the orders for COVID out of our area.
Who's D. Moreno?
I do not know who this D. Moreno is, but D. Moreno is a far name from Mr. Vasquez. And it's not Mr. Brent Kratke, and it's not Miss Peggy J. Franklin.
D. Marino is what you said, right?
Yes. D, like the initial D.
Okay.
Moreno.
So, all right.
Didn't we just write an article with Moreno in it?
No. Here's the thing. Could it be using a fake name in the alias of Dan Marino? Former quarterback of the Miami
Moreno.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Moreno.
Moreno, not Marino. Moreno.
Not Marino.
Okay.
Not a quarterback from when football was good.
Dude, I actually kind of went like a Robin Hood's Men in Tights when you said that, like kind of theory when you said Marino.
But it's supposed to be Moreno, Moreno type spelling.
Yeah,
Moreno.
I just read that.
Yeah.
I just read that name in a report up here. Pull that report. Hold on, let me look at that report.
Yeah, which one was it?
D. Moreno.
Hold on, I've got it. Hold on, I'm look at it.
Because the person who said it was also turned over to Morgan Luttrell.
Okay.
And Miss Holly. Because they asked for specific names and I gave them specific names.
No, it was Morton.
Okay, that sounds more familiar.
But said that the CBOC clinics were receiving their orders via emails from a D. Moreno.
Wow.
But
Oh.
even crazier was the
Hey.
idea that the employee would tell me who sent them the email over the phone.
Is that how you spell it?
Yeah. Is it Morano, Kim?
It should be something similar to that. It's Moreno. But that the person would tell me such instances over the phone, not knowing if I am or am not the person I say I am.
Well, let's look it up right now.
Yeah. Oh, you. Back to what happened in Kansas. So, according to Pope's testimony, McClure's boss, the whistleblower's boss, Vasquez had no formal reports on McClure's behavior on April 16th. Someone flagged his patient record just hours after his termination.
Yes.
And the same day, an employee registered their first formal complaint against him.
And the employee that registered their first formal complaint 4.5 hours after he was fired was the same lady that Mr. Vasquez said that he had said he was going to blow up her car.
Wow.
And in that report, she said nothing about him claiming to blow up her car, simply said he made her feel uncomfortable.
I have a Teresa Morano.
It's D. Moreno.
Here we go. Paul Gunderson, thank you for helping us out here, buddy. Darren Moreno earned his undergraduate degree in environmental engineering in 2004 in the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York, and served 8 years as an infantry officer in the U.S. Army. While there, Darren attended U.S. Army Ranger School and earned the Ranger tab, worn by elite soldiers, deployed to combat theater, served in multiple leadership roles, including platoon leader and company commander following 8-year. Anything else, Paul? What's he doing at the VA now? If that's him. If that is who we're talking about. But anyway.
I thought he was, speaking of which, where is he?
Paul Gunderson.
Oh, Paul comes on Saturdays.
But he's not going to be on here tomorrow.
No, he's not going to be on. Yeah, that's right. He's not going to be here this week.
We connect with him on Facebook, should we?
Huh? Yeah, we should.
Dude, I am so freaking down.
Because I was having a problem with having to go to one of our CBOC clinics for some treatment that I normally go to.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still having an issue with high masks. And they were in a low mask area. And this is coming on the heels of McDonough saying he would do something that Luttrell asked him to do and then turning around and trying to slap Congressman Luttrell in the face.
I will say this. I wish Morgan would not. I don't want to say he's naive, okay? Because I don't think so. I think he's very calculating. And of course, you don't, wear your secrets on your sleeve like that. Especially if you're, let your thoughts be dark as night. And then when you fall like a thunderbolt, but, I know this. I know I'm impatient. I know I want to see things change now within Veteran Affairs. But the thing is, there should be enough evidence on his table to make a move at this point. So the evidence here, the evidence is laid out. There should be no setup. Okay. Anyone else could have been in the civilian community, could have been sued 10 times over for this garbage, for this tyranny. And the fact is Americans are getting free from it because of COVID-19, but we're still under it. And the fact is, when you actually tell another civilian what's going on with red flag laws, what's going on with the tyranny with Veteran Affairs, what's turning around with the talk that's coming out of taking our veteran pay, or the last talk that even my boss, that I'm even on flaky with Mike Boss, is that we have to pay back our benefits if we make over a certain amount of money. And, here's the thing, and it's a group household income. So here's the thing: it screws over even mill-to-mill vets like myself and my husband.
Even screws over. It screws over any couple that has, even if you have just one military spouse. Because say man comes home, gets disabled, has full disability and everything, has 100%. His wife can't pursue a career and exceed in it, because if she starts bringing in too much money, he's going to start losing money.
Hi, Ruth. How you doing, dear? I haven't seen you in a while.
What's up, Ruth? Thanks
Well,
for
no, Paul had just made a comment ahead of that.
Yeah, I'll see it. So he has a master's in physician as a physician assistant. So he worked for Baylor, which is connected to the Houston VA, but he's just a physician assistant, looks like.
Yeah, so a PA sent out the orders to mask up when McDonough told Morgan Luttrell he would take care of it.
Yeah, and I actually have the recordings of of a patient advocate within Veteran Affairs saying, "Oh yeah, we received it. We received it." And that's what I don't understand, is that with articles like these that we've just talked about, with our director of the VA, which Mr. Vasquez is in the district.
Yeah.
So all the veterans that is within the Texas 8 district, the Texas Congressional District 8, are covered under Vasquez, and he did bull crap like this in freaking Wichita, Kansas.
Yes.
And then he gets a $43,000 raise on top of that. Nothing happened.
Let's go back to that pay chart.
And if you go pull your Luttrell letter, you'll see that that 50 congressmen just went after McDonough.
Yes, I saw that.
50 of them just went after him for lying.
Yes, but it was wasn't it on a bill? Because I did see that.
There was part of it was on a bill, but part of it is lying and misrepresentation. And part of it is for attacking and causing veterans anxiety and distress.
Yeah, I'll read it. I've got it right here. Oh, it's just got to load. It says biweekly update. Letter to Veteran Affairs Secretary McDonough. Due to the ongoing misinformation about Limit Save Grow Act, Congressman Luttrell and over 50 of his House Republican colleagues sent a letter to VA Secretary McDonough condemning the dishonest partisan use of VA to spread fear, anxiety among veterans. Extreme Democrats lied about Social Security and Medicare cuts, and they lied about Meals on Wheels cuts, and now they are lying about the VA. No, it is the Democrats who propose Takano the cuts, by the way. I tell you what, I am Asian American, and I hate that Asian American. And he doesn't see me coming. Jeez.
No, well, the thing is, you have to be careful when you say things like that, because Takano is double victim. He's Asian American and openly gay. So if you don't hate him because he's Asian,
I'm trumping that. Okay.
If you don't hate him because he's Asian, you hate him because he's gay.
I'm Asian American and I'm female.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
That doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it does.
Women can be misogynist too.
Yeah, but the problem is gay is not like it was in the 60s when the Flintstones were popular. We'll have a gay old time. No, negative Ghost Rider, not today.
No.
Back then it meant we'll have a happy old time. Today it means something totally different.
Paul, you just shut up. No, you did not.
Yes, he did.
Oh my
we
goodness.
We don't need any more of the what do you call it, Olympic stars and stuff turning around and trying to become women, like
we actually have a
stepdad.
Paul, I think you're in your prime for women's professional wrestling. I really think you are. Just get in there and dominate.
Yeah, definitely.
I
you
mean,
could-
heaven forbid I'm a female. I have too much testosterone, but I'm not trying to go male.
Put that back up there.
I deserve that.
Hey, Paul.
Actually, I resemble that remark.
Paul, what are you doing later tonight?
Wah, wah. He says, gotta go. Yeah, you made him run away.
This is ridiculous.
He's good.
Okay,
Right.
did you want to bring up? What did you want to show us?
So I
about
want to
pay
bring
chart?
back. I want to bring back up that pay chart. So we're going to do that right now.
He said he didn't know he was getting his butt kicked.
But here, what's even funny is that there is history. This is a repeated thing that's going on in Vasquez's in his pay charts. So here you have him at GS 14 in 2004. This doesn't go back to his entire government career.
It should.
They can't. There's no room on the website. They don't have that much room for data for everybody.
They should.
I know they should, but here's the thing. So we started off at GS 14 at $100,000 in 2004. So GS 14 nowadays makes about 150, I think. So I think that's right with inflation, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
But yeah.
But here's the crazy thing that gets me. Mr. Vasquez doesn't have an MD. He has no medical experience, no medical training, and he's in charge of a medical facility.
So he's been from 2006 to 2007, he went from a miscellaneous administration to a health systems administrator. So, and he was still in the same pay grade. And in that time, he jumped up $2,000, right around there a year, which is a decent raise. Okay. So from 2007 to 2008, same pay grade, same job title and everything, goes up $7,000. $7,000 in pay in a single year. After that, we go up an additional $4,000 in 2009. And from that, we go up another $6,000 in 2010. So 7, 4, and 6. So that is what? 11.
17.
$17,000 in
6,
pay
4,
raises
10,
in
and 7,
3
17.
years.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not about the money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now I get it. You did the education for it, but scroll up and let's look at entire profile.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now, all he has is an MBA. He still doesn't have an MD, but yet at the same time, he's in charge of a medical hospital.
Scroll
But yet
up.
he went to the Women's College of Medicine
Scroll down a little bit.
for additional classes for his MBA.
So here's the thing. As a senior executive here, I'll let you know this. It says here, Texas as our senior executive pay is among the highest paid 10% of employees in the Veteran Health Administration.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
If we go down further here, you can see that his pay is 46% higher than the average health system administrator and 44% higher than the average pay of an ES employee.
Yes.
That's not corruption.
No.
No,
But our pharmacists make $95,000 a year.
Wow.
To sit behind that glass and pass us scripts or
Does
tell
it
us
show
they'll
you
put
his-
it in the mail.
Doesn't it show you his school and stuff here too?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't know about all of his schooling, but I do know that he attended the Women's College of Medicine in the medical center. The Women's College of Medicine.
Right. And here's the thing: it wasn't even a PhD. I believe it was.
It was to continue. It was continued education on his MBA.
Looking it up too, huh?
Yeah.
I'm always like, whenever I sit there, I want to go and finish up the Conquistador on it. Because of the Hotel del Coronado and shit. So we had the station where our station was the Hotel del Coronado.
Oddly enough, who Frank Vasquez was named after.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Francisco Vasquez.
So anyways, he was actually a speaker on the Rotary Club, right? Here in Houston, and he was introduced. So I sat there and I contacted the Rotary Club today, and I showed them the articles and the pay scales and everything that that we were talking about tonight. And I got the email back. They are after reading that, they feel horrible that they ever had him speak.
Yeah.
And Rotary Club will not be contacting Francisco Vasquez ever again. And she's going to look to sit there and pull him down off their webpage.
Yep.
Did you send them the rest of those ones that I sent you?
Yeah, I did. I just sent them everything. I'm like, you know what? If this guy can sit here and red flag us, let's just start ruining him.
Right. And the thing is, so I got all of his schooling here. He's a graduate from the Universidad Sagrado Corazon in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and with a bachelor's of science and degree in computer science, and received his MBA from Texas Women's University.
See?
So he's got a business degree.
He didn't even have an MBA when he took over director of Michael E. DeBakey.
Was what at a women's university?
Yeah, Texas
Women's College of Medicine in the medical center.
But he got
Women's College of Medicine.
What
He didn't even go to Baylor.
Was he the diversity hire? Is that what it was?
This women's college isn't feeling not so diverse.
No.
The Women's College of Medicine is just blocks from Michael E. DeBakey.
Wow.
If you come up from 610 and Bissonnette, and you come up, or Bel Air, and you come up that way to come towards the VA, you have to pass the Women's College of Medicine to get to the VA.
Oh wow.
Here's the thing. He is a computer software engineer.
Yes.
Okay. So
he's intelligence and computer software engineer.
So that's all I guarantee you that's all he's doing. He's just leaking shit.
Yeah.
That's all he's there for, is to keep an eye on veterans and sit there and who's doing what and freaking get into our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Navy vet, Navy Air.
I do not claim him.
Yeah. Naval Air Warfare Center, Avionics Division in Indianapolis.
I told you, he is intelligence and computers. That's it.
He got out and he started working back for the federal government as soon as
but yet you can't even get IT to work correctly at the VA.
Wow.
Yeah, 24 years of federal service is what Frank Vasquez has.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out everything about the Navy part, though.
Dude, he was avionics. I was avionics. I feel sick. Keep going.
Yeah, so here we go.
I'm glad I'm Army. Holy crap.
First, technical and professional leadership experience. He served as Vice President of Information Management at Philadelphia VA Medical Center. And he was Chief Information Officer at the VA Medical Center in Sheridan, Wyoming.
Yep.
He's also been a civilian employee of the U.S. Navy and held positions in computer and software engineer at the Naval Air Warfare Center, Avionics Division in Indianapolis. Most recently, he served as the Medical Center Director at Wichita, Kansas.
Robert J. Dole.
And Spanish College, Women's College, American College of Healthcare Executives, and a proud Navy veteran.
Yeah, that's what he's a part of. Is the active member of the American College of
But
Healthcare Executive.
okay,
Let's go
my
after.
question is,
Yeah.
how can you call yourself proud veteran when you are smearing and marking other veterans while you're laughing about it in the background?
You're filling your pockets doing the same thing.
I wonder if the American College of Healthcare Executives have those articles. Maybe we
Probably
should do
not.
that. We should do that.
We should. Absolutely.
I already his stuff was all over the Rotary Club. That's probably coming down now. As a speaker.
I would honestly hope with what he's done to the mass majority of the veterans, and for the failed health care that he's given, the least I could expect is for the Rotary Club to send him a letter that says, we no longer seek your services.
Well, I do know this is that the Humble VA clinic, Concerned Veterans for America, actually did FOIA that VA clinic, and they showed that wait time manipulation was going on at that healthcare clinic. That is under Vasquez as well.
Well, I was blind scheduled in December for a knee injection. It was before December, but it was for an appointment in December. I was blind scheduled by DeBakey for an injection December 29th to my knees that I never actually scheduled. Upon finding out and going to the surgical clinic to query what in the world was going on, I was informed that I would be canceling my appointment if I moved my appointment. But yet, how can I cancel an appointment that was never made? And there's supposed to be zero tolerance for blind scheduling.
The mail flyers that they used to send, they were sending me those reminders of appointments that I never made either. And they would send out the reminders because you could check the little stamp mark and the date. They would send them after the appointment's canceled. I mean, after the appointment date.
I'll give you one even better than that. They sent my dad an appointment slip for 90 days after he was already dead. We'd already buried him in the VA cemetery, and they sent him an appointment 90 days after. When I called them to tell them he was gone, they go, we'll put the patient canceled their appointment. Thank you.
Yeah, because now he's they need him to be alive and well so that he can vote.
No, but he was already dead when they sent
No, that's what I'm saying. Because if you look, have you actually read your emails? I believe like 4 months ago, I got the email of, around election times or right after the election, they were sitting there talking about how to help veterans vote. They're talking about that. And
well,
doing
it. I don't know if our VA is doing it yet. I haven't quite been able to figure it out, but some of the VAs are signing veterans up to vote behind their back without their permission.
Yeah, because they're doing it at the VA homes.
Do you know that the new IDs that they gave us with the that have like the member number and all that on them,
mm-hmm.
that was sign up for Obamacare.
Oh wow.
That's how they got all the people signed in that they needed. Mm-hmm. They used the VA system. It signed us up for healthcare.gov behind our backs.
Wow.
And because if you notice, we have a group number and a member number that we can't use.
Yeah, but I know because we get it sent in the mail with us.
But it's on our IDs that we can't use because they signed us up for healthcare.gov behind our backs to get that 2 billion people that they needed under Obama to make this thing go down. They use the veterans as their tool.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Doesn't surprise me.
No.
That's how we have that healthcare.gov now, aka Obamacare, aka Clinton Care.
Wow. See, that's what another thing I'm upset about is interagency exchange. There needs to be a cutoff, especially with our medical record, especially with sharing our information. We should have a say with that, and we don't. And that's why, and here's the thing is that I'm upset too, is why is it when I do go to community care, why does the VA need my medical records? Unless I say so. Can't
Because the VA wants to make sure what you said and what you did inside that appointment.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is that if you go to, so they scheduled me for a psych appointment and I said, okay. And she was like, okay, when do you want to come in? I was like, I don't know if I want you. Tell me exactly what you send over to Veterans Affairs. And she said, I have to send everything, every single note, everything.
Well, my psychologist, Dr. Daryl Turner, made a little pinpoint deal about what's in the center, and it comes across with pointers. He's got it, and he sent it every single time, and he said he'll continue to send it. It's got all my medical problems on it, and it's got the VA at the center of all of my problems.
That's the problem. If they, because that's what my problem is with psych too, is that my problem is veteran affairs, because I'm not getting the care. I can't grow. They keep me stuck in the past. I want to move forward. And the fact that the VA can't think that way, even though we are literally telling our providers that I want to move forward. You want to keep me in the past and in my fucking drama. I want to move past it, but no, they keep the cycle going and they keep the drama going. And even a lot of their psychs do that. You know, they'll sit there and they say, well, let's talk about your worst day. How about we not, and let's move forward. Show me how you're going to get me to move forward.
Have you noticed for the Vietnam vets, the VA made sure that there was always Asian doctors in their path. I'm not trying to say that it's all of them, but it's just the point. They came back from Vietnam. They made sure that there was absolute Asians in their path. All their health care came that way. Now that we're coming back, we've come back from Iraq and Afghanistan and Desert Storm. They've made sure that a large majority of our doctors are absolutely Muslim.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yep.
And it's called,
More.
according to them, it's called reintegration. Because they put exactly who you fought in your face, and you have to tell them where it hurts.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's not
healthy. Here's the thing. That's not healthy for the Muslim either. That's not healthy for the veteran.
Well,
what are you doing?
I mean, I had a biopsy done before I had a left lobe parathyroidectomy. I had a biopsy done of my left thyroid. And I'm in the room after being prepped, waiting for them to come in. The so-called doctor comes in, and all I can see is her eyeballs because she's dressed in the full garb. I'm like, she come over to the table and put her hand on my head like, you need to stay still. And I'm like, if you value those digits, you need to remove them from my head. And you need to get out of this room. I am not dealing with no Hussein today. You need to get me a real doctor. When I went to the GI clinic, they wanted me to see Dr. Hussein. Ain't happening, Captain. Don't back that truck up. That dog just don't hunt.
I noticed that in San Diego. They had a doctor like that. I was like, I don't think this is. I looked at him. I'm like, I don't think this is a smart idea. And he was like, well, this is the only job I could find. I was like, do you feel like? I little asked him. I'm like, do you feel like this is a good idea? And he's like, no, I don't.
And here's an even better thing, or different thing, but showing you from a different side. I had a doctor at one point that was discussing my GERD with me and discussing my medical history and my medical documents. And I had already been classified. And she wrote a note in my chart that said my GERD had been left untreated by the VA for 8 years.
Wow.
That is what created this current problem. Do you know I never saw that doctor again? She apparently got fired for the note she put in my chart.
Well, I want to say this. Every time that, I talk to people about groups or even talking about veteran affairs, one thing that they're saying, well, we actually need to stop talking bad about veteran affairs. They treat it like, like it's a race thing. If you stop talking about racism, it'll probably go away. No, this is not like that. You have doctors that are people's toes for an ingrown toenail when you should have just fixed the ingrown toenail. Or
then taking the foot, then taking the leg.
That's disgusting. No.
Or they're waiting till the gangrene gets all the way up to their thigh, and then they're going, oops, my bad, I got to take your whole leg.
Or they're sitting here. The thing is, they're actually causing malpractice. And I'm tired of hearing that, well, all y'all do is complain about things. All you do is complain about things. There's veterans out there that say things. I'm like, dude, I had a tumor in my freaking arm for 7 years. It was very painful. Damn right, I'm going to complain. I'm in pain. I still have knees that need work done. I have a hip that needs work done. I've been out 10 years. Like, come on now.
I know someone who was rolling down the halls of Michael Lee DeBakey with gangrene on their last 2 fingers, rolling in a wheelchair, and their fingers were just turning greener and greener and greener in the hallways of Michael Lee DeBakey. The hallways.
Yeah. Well, here at the Logbook, we don't just like to complain. We like to come up with solutions, don't we?
Right. So our big solution is this. I know we complain about a lot of things, guys. You need to start standing up. Okay. I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, look at these trials as a learning experience. I'm sick and tired of that from the veteran community trying to sit there and say veteran issues are just a pump it up experience. Okay. It's a problem.
It is
guys. A problem that needs real solutions.
It's not a trial that every veteran needs to go through. It is something that needs to end so other veterans don't have to go through it.
It's something that can be fixed. Holy crap. And here's the thing, and they don't want to fix it because here's the thing. If you look at what's coming out right now, there's a grant that came out to these charities. So when you listen to these motivational speakers or these charities, wake up. They just got $52 million in grants. Do you think they care about you, veteran? No, they're going to be chasing that money for their charity. Do they want to fix the issue? Hell the fuck no. Because if they fix the issue, there goes their charity. So be careful. Be very careful. The paperwork's there. It's in the writing. There's articles about this all the time. Fix the dang issue already. Fix it.
I don't believe the VA should be paying for sex changes for anyone until they can fully facilitate all the prosthetic devices needed for the injured veterans that still can't get the prosthetic devices that they need. I don't believe they should be paying for sex changes, and I do not want to be in a room with a Juan who just became Juanita.
And I do not want to share my women's clinic with them.
And period. I do not care about sharing my women's clinic with men when it's exclusively for the treatment of women. And I don't care about we can't have Jack and Jill bathrooms. You are by law supposed to have bathrooms between the treatment rooms in order to facilitate proper cleanup of women who have had medical procedures.
Yes.
And if you can't do that, then privatize the VA and we'll leave it at that.
And I don't want people to fear what privatizing the VA means. Privatizing the VA means this. We get to go see the doctors we want, and when we need them. That's it. So we get to become civilians.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like we are right now. Makes sense, right? Well, guys, it's coming up. We've actually gone way over time. So I guess we're just going to say goodbye. Thanks for joining our rant. You take care and God bless.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.